this is all on. Thank you for the opportunity to do this address again. It's an honor and a privilege to share our administrative plan for the current 2023 year and to share with City Council and the public our goals and objectives in keeping Wooster moving forward. This year's presentation is especially so, for it is the last time I will get to share in a State of the City address my thoughts and vision as the mayor of the city of Wooster. The pictures above on the screens showcase our downtown. They are, the top in the corner on the right is our string lights over the northeast quad of the square. The one below that is the ribbon cutting of the new Ace hardware store on March 4th of 2022. Below that is the nearly finished Mariola Italian restaurant and Liberty Bell apartments in the entertainment district of our city. They plan to open this spring. The final picture is an artist rendering of the new Lyric Theater at the corner of South and Market Streets, adjacent to the City Square Steakhouse. There's a very energetic group who are bringing this project together with hopes of having their theater opening by sometime in 2024. Best wishes to this project's success. This would be a wonderful addition to our downtown. All of you should have a copy of our city goals for this year that are generated through my administrative team and the managers. And so these are the ones that we are going to be focusing on as 2023 progresses. There are 8 goals total that I have challenged our administrative team and managers to achieve or keep moving forward in the 2023 year. I will go through them one at a time and explain. You all have the 2023 goal sheet at your seat. And anyone listening or viewing through the video media, I will have each goal listed as we go forward. Fire Station 1 is our first goal. It is to renovate and modernize Fire Station 1 next to City Hall. This goal was first proposed in 2020 to start planning for Fire Station 1 upgrades and timing. I said then it would take many years to achieve this. We started the architecture and engineering plans. Got to flip to my right picture. They started the architecture and engineering plans in 2021. Due to increased construction costs, the plans were revised in 2022 to try to reduce costs. We finalized the layout and costs and hope to award a contract to build this spring, start construction this summer, and have completion in 2024. The north parking lot on the right side of the picture shows that we've started by replacing necessary parking that will be lost when the fire station expansion happens. The lot is on the north side of the building. We just did that in the last couple of weeks to get it finished up, and so we are up to our own codes. So this is our final improvement to our city's fire infrastructure. Station 2 and 3 have been improved or built within the last 7 years. Station 1 was built in 1961, so 62 years ago, and is in need of renewal and expansion. So that is our first goal for the city. Goal number 2 is connecting Wooster with Milltown and Melrose bike path lanes. Our second goal is the connection of 2 of our primary bike trails in the city, completing the northern loop of our trail system and expanding a new leg up to Smithville Western Road. It's been a long process, but we are finally successful in achieving grant dollars. Funding for the Milltown Road piece comes available after July 1st of this year, so right-of-way acquisition will start then. Construction of this section won't start until late 2023 or 2024. The Melrose leg of the trail is included in the Melrose Road construction costs. So the groundwork on the northern half started last year, and the final half will be completed sometime in 2023. The leg from Smithville Western Road to Milltown Road should be completed by this summer or fall and be usable by that time. Moving on to our third goal is park improvements, and it's made up of 4 different projects throughout our city park system. They are Freedlander Chalet entry and patio improvements. Step and ramps from the parking lot need to be redone because they're too steep for the modern conditions or directives that you have to meet. An outdoor patio area will complement the indoor chalet facility and should help with rentals, especially through spring, summer, and fall. Clear Creek Park playground construction. The Wesley Johnson family made a donation in his name to be used to help create this play structure and complement the pavilion and trail system at the Clear Creek Park. Pickleball has become the newest sporting rage. Demand is starting to outpace our court availability. We have budgeted $125,000 to build additional courts in our city this year. The location of these courts are yet to be determined. And lastly, Christmas Run pool renovation, discussion, and direction on how to move forward. We've hired OHM advisors to do a study on the cost benefits of redoing our existing pool, building a new pool, or do we rehab and or replace. This will also be considered in relation to our comprehensive plan update, which OHM is also in charge of. So hopefully we'll have some good direction moving forward out of our comprehensive plan and the specific park plan. Safety infrastructure. This 4th goal of safety infrastructure is made up of 2 different locations in our city. The first is a continuation of our city streetscape improvement project in our downtown. The areas shown in yellow are on West Liberty Street, with the main improvement on the south side of the street. This will marriage up to where the last improvement stopped, just around the alley west of the bank teller lanes. The improvement will round the corner in front of Mazzo's and continue south on Walnut Street to approximately the alley north of local routes. The small area on the north side of Liberty Street is it will improve the corner crosswalks and will marriage up with the last streetscape project around Beall. The second major infrastructure project is a needed improvement to the intersection of Oak Hill Road and Oldman Road. This is needed improvement due to the increased traffic load on both of these streets. It is also the first time that TIF dollars, which the council passed in early of last year, will be used to benefit the public from the increased housing occurring in the Ryan Homes development north of the Church of the Nazarene. It's a welcome improvement to this traffic situation. I think we're all looking forward to having some relief in that corridor up on Oak Hill. The 5th goal deals with our water and wastewater plant expansions. The focus is on our city utilities of water and wastewater improvements to our plants. Water production facility has served our city well since it was constructed in 1998, almost 25 years ago. The water production load has increased since this plant was built by increased housing and industrial needs. A planned way to expand our water filters was built into the building, which can double the cost, double the amount of water produced. This is what we planned on doing. Luckily, our utility and engineering teams found a way to clean and refresh our sand filters while still handling the production needs. This will buy the city some more years before a much costlier building expansion needs to happen. Our wastewater improvements are much more involved. They involve 4 areas. The headworks, which is the main piping bringing sewage into the plant, is approximately 50 plus years old, and it must stay in use while the replacement is being made. Not easy to do those kind of connections. The vertical loop, 1 and 2 reactors need to be rehabbed and improved. That's where the air gets introduced into the sewage stream and lets the bacteria do what they do best. The anaerobic digesters need to be updated, cleaned. The tops need to be retarped and rehabbed. Our feedstock receiving needs improved to get our energy producing component back into production to help offset operational cost. So lots to do with the water and wastewater plants this coming year. And isn't that a cool picture over the beautiful settling ponds of our wastewater plant?
Nice sunset.
It is a beautiful sunset. Next is Goal 6. It's essential to keeping our community moving forward. It deals with two important aspects of growth. They are planning our community's growth. This is necessary best practice undertaken every 10 years, comprehensive plan review and update. It's starting here in a few weeks. These pictures show the committee and plan formed in the 2013-2014 year. We have a 20-member committee of Wooster citizens who will be working with OHM advisors and city staff to review Wooster's 2014 plan, talk about what needs changed or updated, and any new planning developments that have benefited other communities, and any new planning and recommending a plan update to City Council. The second part of this goal deals with improving the housing situation in Wooster. We have had many opportunities to improve this situation, but have encountered resistance from neighbors, NIMBY, and bad/untrue information spread. The map on the slide shows a new potential improvement area that we've been working on for many years. We've called it the Walmart Lift Station because of its location behind Walmart. We've just established a right-of-way which will allow the removal of this lift station and turn this area into a gravity sewer system, which is much better for the city. This holds the potential for more housing and commercial development in the yellow polygon, I guess, there in that picture to the right of on the screens. The red line represents the line, the sanitary line that will be coming down through that area. So that's something we've been trying to achieve for many, many years, and we finally have gotten to the right point in a conversation. Goal number 7 is strengthen economic development plans and initiatives. This goal is exciting, but it is something that can be hard to explain to others. We have a great group of partners that have worked well together for years. Wooster is the largest city and population base per square mile of any place else in Wayne County. As such, our needs have grown as well as our own in-house professional staff. We now perform many things that others used to provide as a service. This doesn't mean we don't need or want the collaboration of our partners. It means we need them to understand this new reality and work with us to find what services, functions, and expertise they can provide that help all involved. This means Wooster has to grow, but in a planned, methodical way. If we don't, our city will start to stagnate. That's why we do a 10-year plan as stated. We need our partners to grow with us and not against us for these partnerships to be valuable to our city. This can be done if we work together. The number 7 micropolitan is a true honor for our city. We have been the number 1 micropolitan in the state of Ohio since 2018, or for the last 6 years. This doesn't go unnoticed on a national and international level. If you are looking to grow or expand a business, don't you think business professionals do their homework to find the best place to do it? To do so, we should be very proud of this honor and share with anyone you meet. This next slide is sort of a continuation, but a graphing of where we land in this whole Policom ranking. In Ohio, as I said, Wooster is number 1. We're the 7th in the nation as far as the Policom survey of micropolitans. The others are Salina, Mount Vernon, Wapakoneta, Sidney, Norwalk, Williamton, New Philadelphia, Dover, Marietta, and Zanesville. If anyone's interested, Ashland, who has been a good partner and neighbor to us, is number 11 on the list at 147 nationally, and Findlay, who we are often compared to, is number 12 at 151 on this year's state ranking. To be a micropolitan, you have to be a city with a population of 10,000 to 50,000 people within 1 or 2 counties in the United States. There are 2 agencies that do metropolitan and micropolitan ranking in the United States. They are Policom.com and Site Selection Magazine. Policom, that bases its ranking strictly on publicly available data that all cities report on an annual basis. Site selection rankings will not be available until the 1st of March and are based on what cities submit to them of development projects they achieved during the previous year. So that just sort of gives you insight as to who the ranking agencies are and how they do come up with those rankings and how we match up to the 543 other micropolitans in the United States. Our last and final goal that we as a city team have put together is to complete the Dix Expressway and the Melrose Road improvements. This 8th goal on both of these important road infrastructure improvements started last year. As stated, both projects would take 2 years to complete. I'm happy to report that both projects are well underway and both are following their plans to be completed this year. Both have had to disrupt travel convenience to the public, for which we apologize, but neither could have been done otherwise. I think all will find the improvements have been worth the wait and inconvenience. We can thank the state of Ohio for funding the improvements to the Dix Expressway and say that thanks to ourselves for fixing and improving Melrose Drive, along with a $500,000 Ohio Public Works grant. An off-road bike walking path will accentuate the new road improvement. So that pulls through all of the goals that we're challenging our admin and management team to make happen here in the city of Worcester this year. I always have to talk about the money because it always comes down to the dollars. Right, Mr. Dordia? Yes, sir. I knew you'd love that. And thanks to Andre for the next 3 graphs that you're going to see. They're sort of a tried and true, but give the best overview, in my opinion, of what makes the revenues and investments come together. Great Recession happened from December of 2007 to June of 2009. The state funding cuts from Governor Kasich happened in 2010 and 2011. We passed a income tax increase in 2013 to take effect on January 1st of 2014 that raised our income tax from 1 to 1.5%. And we are holding our own with a solid revenue stream funding our city. The income tax increase, to me, was essential. It truly saved our community. We would not be where we are as a community without it. Thank you to the citizens of Worcester for investing in our city. The next slide is on the capital investment piece. You can see that there's something that changed in 2023. It is about 3 to 4 times higher than anything else. The change is we were able to get a number of federal grants and a thing called ARPA funds, which has dumped a lot of money into our community along with everybody else in the United States in that manner or fashion. How we're spending them: Fire Station number 1 remodel is a $5.4 million total for the remodel of the system. We got $3.37 million in capital improvement debt that we are going to carry as a city, $627,500 in a CDBG fire station grant, and $1.4 million fire station through the ARPA funds, or American Rescue Plan funds. Another tranche going out this year is $1.4 million for the Oldman Oak Hill Roundabout. But again, as I said earlier, through the goals, TIF dollars are going to be funding that, which Council helped make happen with their votes this past year. And then the Walmart Gravity Sewer, which was on one of our slides, is a $1.5 million total to make it a gravity sewer. $750,000 will become from a capital improvement debt, $500,000 from OPWC grant, and $250,000 through ARPA funds. It does show that we are investing back in our community, though, for sure. And the last finance slide is one that breaks it down into personnel, debt service, O&M, and capital transfers. One thing you might notice is there's in 2020, you see that little piece that for some reason goes down and everything else is up. That is due to the infusion of ARPA funds in the 2020 year. So it cut down the spending that we had to do through our own funding mechanism. You'll note that we're holding true to our pledge in 2013 of funding capital improvements each year. People in the community asked that we pledge to keep funding capital, and as you can tell, it's the yellow-orangish at the top, and through 2013, you see how small it, well, 2011 it was almost non-existent because of the shortage that I spoke of earlier. But by 14, the new income tax came into effect, and ever since that point, we've funded capital way above any level that we had told people that we would make sure we stick to. So now we get sort of into the look back here for this past year. Clear Creek Park is the newest park. It was added and dedicated on April 29th of last year. The park was made possible by a generous donation of Dick and Judy Seaman. Worcester is, again, a tree city. It's our 46th year of that award, along with two other cities in the state, Westerville and Springfield. We're the only three that have been part of Tree City ever since its formation many years ago. And I want to say thank you to our Urban Forestry Commission. That's part of what they do, is make sure that we have trees and foliage all throughout our good city to be a tree city. And Steve Webster, who is part of that, has been serving on that commission for 12 years. So a real congratulations and thank you to Steve for all his efforts. This is the TIF district that we've been talking about, and I think it's going to play a huge piece for our city moving forward because it helps with the funding of very expensive things. So this is something that City Council in February of 22 approved, the TIF for this area. In May, annexation of 75 acres started. Infrastructure improvements to begin in the summer of 2022. The fall of 2022, Ryan Homes begins constructing their model home. Oak Hill and Oldman Road roundabout design phase is underway. So this is that first housing development that's coming to light in the city, and it's going to be just above the church there on Oak Hill Road. So that is what's happening there. We'll get into some good news, and that is how many industries have been investing in our city and growing their size and growing their employee base. As it says there, over 1 million square feet of new industrial space has been created in this last year. The top picture, number one, is the Worcester Brush building, the largest building that ever has been built inside the city of Worcester at one time. Over 600,000 square feet building, and Mr. Sanders, I think, is very familiar with that because he's been intimately involved in making that happen. Number 2 is the FedEx building off of Old Airport Road. That is over a 200,000 square foot building and should be nearing completion here in the next probably quarter or half a year. The third one is Daisy Brand that ever since they came to our city have expanded, I think, every single year. They have been an amazing partner and a very, very good neighbor as a partner here in the city of Worcester. We are so thankful that they chose Worcester to be a part of. Number 4 up at the top is the Schaeffler complex. They are adding 80,000 square foot of manufacturing space there. And then last is the Scannell/Frito-Lay building. That's a distribution center for Frito-Lay. And that adds almost 200,000 square foot there too. So more land is still available in this building area, and thanks to all of these for growing in our city. New retail operation. I think you all have, I'm sure, heard of this and probably seen it out and about, but I think this has a lot of excitement in our community. The new Myers store, it's in the national chain, should complement the other grocers and general goods stores in Worcester. I believe they will help attract people from the surrounding area to come to Worcester to shop. We met with the management team from Myers, and we were impressed with their company and their desire to be in our community. Opening sometime this spring, we welcome them to Worcester and wish them well in being a part of our community. Spring Run is taking root. This is a housing development. It's through Ryan Homes. They're creating 91 single-family units. This development was put together by a local group of investors and that began working with Ryan Homes back in the early part of 2022. They broke ground on this at the end of last year. They plan to have the model home sales office open by the 1st of March here in a few weeks, and we'll use it to introduce people from the community to the homes that Ryan Homes will have available for immediate build to suit in this well-placed development. It's one of the first boots on the ground housing development underway in our city. We are pleased to have them serving our Worcester community. Talking about new and old creations here in town. We welcome the new and recognizing the old. The top picture on the left is a sign that welcomes folks to Clear Creek Park. It opened with a generous donation from Dick and Judy Seaman Foundation in 2022. Next is the Mariola Liberty Bell groundbreaking for the new Italian restaurant and 8 apartment units beside Muddy's. It's great support of our entertainment district. Alice Noble Ice Arena has celebrated their 20th anniversary this year. Thank you to the Noble family for their continuous support of the Worcester community. And last at the top there is Bogner Construction celebrated 125 years in business in the city of Worcester. And Ted Bogner retires. So congrats to the whole Bogner family and the business team. They have done a great job and have been a loyal business partner throughout their whole existence here in Worcester. On the bottom line, Beef O'Brady's, it opened on South Market Street where Henry Station used to be located. I think they're doing very well from things that I see and hear. Ace Hardware opened on March 4th of 2022 on the square. Thank you to the Ace group and the Bueller clan that have been operating that franchise. Caribou Coffee on Cleveland Road opened the first U.S.-based franchise in the nation here in Wooster, Ohio on Cleveland Road. And these are new apartments being built on Noble Drive. There are 6 of the 15 to be constructed so far that are out on Noble Drive. Melrose Housing Development is starting this spring. Lemon Development is moving forward with a housing plan development off of Melrose Drive. Had to be rezoned. The land had to be rezoned to a planned development from R1 to do. the housing development they envisioned. Primary plans are for 141-unit development with apartments, duplexes, and single-family homes. The plan received unanimous vote of approval from the Worcester Planning Commission. Council approved the rezoning to PD at their May 3rd meeting in 2021. The latest word is they are planning to start building this spring. Lemon Development did the Danbury facility at the base of Portage Road, and thank you, Lemon Development, for growing in our community. Turn internal here and talk about our Worcester Police Department. Chief Fisher, here in the back of the room, was honored by the Worcester Chamber of Commerce as being a distinguished alumni with a Distinguished Alumni Award this past chamber dinner. Jordan Telquist was given the Award of Merit commendation. The Award of Merit commendation is may be awarded to any officer of the Worcester Police Department for an outstanding act of achievement that brings credit to the Worcester Police Department. Jordan was acting officer in charge when 2 shootings occurred within 90 minutes. She remained calm and directed fellow officers to handle specific tasks. Her poise and professionalism are commended. The Worcester PD was recognized in December 2022 by the Ohio Association of Chiefs of Police as the best agency of the month. So congratulations to Matt and his team for making that happen. And lastly, but not least by any means, Don Hall was recognized by his PD team as the Officer of the Year for 2023. So good guy and well-deserved recognition there. Worcester Community Hospital, they keep winning awards. I don't see anything wrong with that, that's for sure, but I'm much happier to be on this side of the awards than the other direction. The Worcester Community Hospital has become the 8th-time winner of the Top 100 Hospitals by Fortune Meritive in 2022. We also received the CMS, which is the Medicare Medicaid system. We received their 5-star quality rating. That's the highest rating that they can give you. Stroke Gold Quality Achievement Award. If you are having a stroke, go to Worcester Community Hospital because we have one of the quickest stroke to balloon time of any place around. In fact, we keep winning awards through Ohio State Wexner Center. And Newsweek World's Best Hospital for 2023. It's the third year in a row that we have won that. So congratulations and thank you to our Worcester Community Hospital team for their excellence. Community celebrations. Life returns to normal. Events and activities abounded in Worcester in 2022. Main Street sponsored many events such as Kids Day, Music on the Square, Farmers Market, concerts and car shows, and the Airstream Rally. The Chamber had a great turnout for Worcester Fest. You see the kids there in the display. And Ohio Light Opera ran all summer and is ready to start another great 2023 season. The Memorial Day Parade was back in full force after a 2-year hiatus, and Main Street has done a really nice job of programming the downtown. It's something that we sort of nudged them to do because we figured that if we had some things down on the square on a regular basis, that people would start coming down and utilizing it, and especially with the Dora in place, and that is exactly what has happened. So thanks to Main Street for taking that on. Friends, community committed to service. The Friends of Philanthropy is an award by the Wayne County Community Foundation. Judy and Richard Seaman won it this past year, and well-deserved. Very good folks who give lots to the community and always have. The Kiwanis Ohio Convention was hosted here in Worcester. It's our 104th District Convention. It was held out at OSU ATI this past fall. Rotary tops over 2,000 flags in our community with the flag project. probably one of the nicest projects I think I've ever seen, because it makes the community look so nice, but it also gives to so many different organizations that help put the flags up and take them down. So thank you, Rotary, for that. Lions Club, they've always promoted eyesight in the world as their mission. They're a fun group, and they have a nice club here in Wooster, Ohio that brings a lot of good things to our community. And Exchange Club couldn't do fireworks without you, so thank you to the Exchange Club and all their efforts. They raise a lot of money and help us have some of the nicest fireworks around. The United Way Salvation Army and the Worcester Homelessness Task Force and the Wayne County Housing Coalition partnered to provide a severe weather station during the winter months. So the shelter that opened up in the Salvation Army was headed by that group of folks. So all kinds of people giving back to our city. Comings and goings this past year. Stan Pop retired from the Wayne Metropolitan Housing Authority, and Deb Catlett was put in his director's position. Marty Starkey says it was time to call it retirement after 28 years of service to the community as the Wayne County Visitors and Convention Bureau head, and Rob Wells has the difficult job of filling her shoes, because Marty did a super job for us all. City Council, David Silvestri, decided it was time to let his kids have cows and chickens and live in the country, but to do that he had to move out of the city, and so he could no longer be one of our city councilmen. So you all were part of getting Mr. Ansel to rejoin our group as an appointee, and he's been a great advocate of our city and our council ever since then. And then Sarah Bolton decided it was time to change venues again, and went to the Washington State, and as a president of a college, I think Walla Walla is the name of it out in Washington. Wayne Webster was put in the interim position of the presidency, and he's done an excellent job as far as everything of our interactions. So we appreciate Wayne and all he's done. And we want to welcome Dr. Ann McCall, who is the new incoming president. She'll be starting in the end of June of this year. And just a couple others, OARDC, OSU welcomes Andy Michaels as the new director out here at our local campus. Ann Dorrance is going to be retiring from the OSU OARDC here sometime this year. And I just want to note that Gary Thompson, who served 23 years on City Council and 13 years on the Worcester Community Hospital Board of Governors, passed away last April 27th. And I mentioned it at Council when that happened, but I think that it's important the community knows Gary was a good guy and did an awful lot for our city. So now, this is called my swan song here, crew. So this is stuff that we've all accomplished together through the last, about 15, 16 years. So I'll look back at some of our bright spots and accomplishments, and maybe one or two that weren't so bright, but we're part of what we do also. 2017 brought many good recognitions for our city. We submitted an application to be considered by Ohio Magazine as one of the 5 best hometowns, one per region of the state, in 2017 and 18. This was the first year we could be reconsidered because our city had won the award previously, and you could not be considered again for 10 years. After a community visit by the editors of Ohio Magazine, a day showcasing why we should be the best hometown in the northeast region of the state, we learned a few months later that Worcester was selected. This set up the following sessions with Ohio Magazine, where we took them around, helping them select the places, pictures, and info that they wanted to share for the story. At the same time, in fact, probably within a couple of weeks of that, Money Magazine called up. I think Jonathan got the phone call, actually, and said, "We've selected you as the 37th in the top 50 best places to live in the United States. Would you please send us 10 pictures that you think would present Worcester in the best light to the world, and we'll select one that we like." So no forewarning, no having to enter anything, is just boom right there. But between those two awards, that made us feel pretty good. We held a community celebration downtown during Window Wonderland that year and handed out gifts of tree ornaments saying best hometown and 37th best places to live in the USA. Money Magazine came to Wooster and presented the award to us on the square. So that was a very strong year of fun things that were unexpected. So good to enjoy those. It's hard to believe that doing a ballot issue in 2013 to raise the city's income tax rate from 1% to 1.5% is one of the high points of my career as mayor. It's not that I like paying taxes any more than anyone else, but we, myself, my admin team, and city council were convinced that without this 0.5% raise, our city would start to backslide. We asked the Ohio Auditor of State to do a performance review of our city to see if there were any ways to streamline things to save funds. Probably the best thing we did, for it showed we were running lean and without the tax would start going downhill. Then we set up a group led by Paul Williams and Brett Deffabaugh as co-chairs. We used our city team to help sell the need of our citizens, or to our citizens. We walked and talked to anyone who would listen, community meetings, PTOs, at the schools, neighborhood gatherings, assisted living communities, service clubs, churches, etc. And our messaging worked. The tax increase was on the primary ballot in May 2013, where it passed by a strong majority for the first try. I think it was about a 60-40 split on the passage. I'm convinced that without this extra 0.5%, we would not be the community we are today. It was essential to keep us moving forward. Thanks to everyone that helped make that happen. Schaeffler has done lots of things in the 16 years that I've been involved here. Schaeffler, also known as Luke, had been a wonderful community partner since it was established in Worcester in 1977. With, I'm told, 6 employees making clutches. The city partnered with Luke on March 21st, 1977, when the city issued industrial revenue bonds, $41 million worth, to help Luke expand and grow. And just by chance, I looked at that, and the person that was sponsoring the legislation had a name, Clyde Breneman, and the mayor was Roy Stipe. So sort of funny to look back and find your father sitting in the pages of our codified ordinances there. Schaeffler has grown over the years to be Worcester's largest employer, making torque converters and working to be a big player in the electronic vehicle market. One of my fondest memories was when, in April 2016, myself and Joel Montgomery joined Prasanna Gurmurthy on the trip to the plant in Beaut, Germany, to meet the leaders of Schaeffler and join them in the industrial fair in Hanover, Germany. This may have helped convince leadership to expand in the Worcester plant. It's a memory of a lifetime. The next memorable event was celebrating Schaeffler's 40th anniversary in Wooster, Ohio in 2017. Many of the leaders we met in Germany came to the event, and Mr. George Schaeffler, who is CEO of the family-owned company, joined in the celebration. We are extremely fortunate to have Schaeffler as the largest employer and industry in our city, and we wish them the best in their future endeavors. They are presently starting that 80,000 square foot expansion to their facility that you saw on the slide earlier. Little Dollop of Daisy. Daisy brand chooses Worcester for its new manufacturing facility, June 24th, 2013. This has to be one of the best things to happen during my time as mayor. Attracting Daisy was a full press effort by our city team, WEDC, Team NEO, and the Ohio Department of Development, along with many community members who helped. Daisy was being courted by Indiana, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, so for us to land them in Wooster, Ohio is a pretty amazing feat. Our economic development team did an outstanding job of selling our city. I think what won the day is the Daisy culture / moral fabric is very similar to the culture moral fabric of the Worcester, Wayne County area. I think we portrayed a moral and work ethic and honesty that they liked and was comfortable to them. It was a pleasure to get to know the Daisy team and to work with them. It still is. Icing on the cake was when the president of Daisy brought his wife to town one weekend, unknown to any of the Wooster team. They stayed in the St. Paul Hotel, walked around the downtown, ate in the local restaurants, went to the farmer's market, and drove around the community. He said he wanted to make sure Wooster was the type of community that his employees would want to raise their families in. It sealed the deal for Wooster. What a great corporate partner Daisy is. We are blessed to have them here. Next is Gojo. The Chamber of Commerce sponsored an economic development forum where they, along with Dee Vidia, invited speakers to talk about economic development. On October 16, 2014, this event was held, and Joe Canfer, CEO of Gojo Industries, was the keynote speaker. One goal of the 2014 State of the City was get Rubbermaid facility back to useful production. Many people who were talking at and with Gojo leadership, and I felt we needed one voice, many people were talking at and with Gojo leadership, and I felt we needed one voice speaking for our community. I called Mr. Canfer and asked if we could meet on Friday, December 12th. Myself, Rod Kreider from the WEDC, and Andre Doherty as our finance chair here in the city of Worcester, drove to Akron to meet with Joe Canfer, CEO, Mark Lerner, President and COO, Scott Levin, CFO, and Ron Hammond, VP of Gojo's main office. We talked over lunch how Worcester could be a good fit for Gojo and the empty Rubbermaid building. This started the ball rolling. Many meetings till February 17th of 2015, announcement by Gojo that they had an agreement with Insight for Worcester's former Rubbermaid building. Gojo announced on May 29th of 15 that it agreed to lease 1.3 million square feet in Worcester to expand manufacturing and distribution operations. In operation by December 17th of 15, Gojo's been a great partner for Worcester. Thank you, Gojo. Today, Gojo owns the facility and grounds and it is the world's largest producer of Purell sanitizer here in Worcester. Many people helped to make this happen. So thank you to the Chamber and to that whole team that started the ball rolling initially. Worcester Innovation Park, we purchased 5L Farm, 130 acres in 2020. The land is and was and is essential for keeping jobs in Worcester. Probably need to look into another adjacent piece for growth potential. The dispatch center, we call the WARCOG for Worcester, Ashland, and it's Orville is the third, but the WARCOG just became sort of an eclectic name for us to call ourselves. Established our dispatch COG has been one of the best things we've ever done during my years as mayor. Unfortunately, it was one of the most difficult things to accomplish. Good partners in Orville and Ashland. Too bad the county didn't join in. Safety Service Building for Fire and Police. Safety Service Center for our police department and fire station number 2 was one of the best decisions we've made as an organization. Good location and professional offices and building. It's a great step forward for our city and really in the perfect place for it, I believe. So, Christmas Run Park and Playground. The Kiwanis Club has been instrumental in the playgrounds down at Christmas Run ever since we've had them. We did a revamp of the Christmas Run Playground in 2017. Thank you, Wooster Kiwanis Club and city team. A wonderful park for the community, and kids do love it. So one of our shining lights in 2017. Goodbye to Freelanders, hello Merchants Block. 6 months into becoming mayor in 2008, Stan Galt invited me to a meeting where he told a small group that he was going to have to close Freelanders after 125 years. He then uncovered an easel with an artist rendering of Merchants Block and said, "This is what is going to go in its place." Sad to say goodbye, but what a vision Mr. Galt had for moving our community forward. There's lots of in-between moments of getting to today, but to me, this is the reason our downtown is as strong and beautiful as it is. Getting closer, crew. Making our downtown come alive. Downtown Streetscape. The city, with the help of the downtown plan facilitated by OHM advisors and city team and community support, made this happen. We're the envy of many communities and it has brought life back into the downtown. The story continues. New restaurants and apartments, a new theater for things to do, and programming by Main Street with Adora Zone drink is an idea from the chamber. So great to see our downtown be such a fun place, especially in the summer season. Another thing, Bell Avenue Streetscape project was a major step forward for Wooster. It happened in approximately 2010. Many players helped make it happen. The College of Wooster, Ralph Regula and federal dollars, multiple state agencies contributing funding, and the city of Wooster contributed major funding and efforts of the multiple city divisions. Beautiful way to tie the College of Wooster with the downtown, so it was a great project for the community. Leaving a legacy, the Duchess of the Downtown, Sandra Hall, retires in 2020 after 30-plus years in the position of the Main Street manager. Sandra was the first and only Main Street director of Wooster. She made the magic happen for our city, and we are eternally grateful for her leadership and tenacity. Sandra is still helping our community as a leader and helping to get the Lyric Theater in our downtown. Shannon Waller was Sandra's next in line. She's done a nice job keeping the downtown strong and programming this space. So I've enjoyed working with both ladies, and I think Shannon will do a great job for our city, and I'm thrilled to have Sandra still being a partner for us. Development on Market Street, the excitement continues. New life for North Market Street, where Horns Nursing Home was. A partnership between the county and city got Horns out of bad hands. We cleaned up the site and sold the property to Ray and Associates for an office, and property to Weaver Custom Homes for 10 condo units. Beauty out of a bad situation, thanks to everyone that helped make that happen. And what a beaut. Freedlander Chalet was a true treasure for our city, created by the Freedlander family. It served Wooster for many decades as a swimming complex, park, ball fields, a chalet rental for parties, and a fishing lake. Time moved on and the chalet got old and out of date. The city took it on as a building project for our maintenance team, or PPM team, and they breathed new life back into the facility. Rentals now are very strong for gatherings, wedding receptions, and family gatherings. It's a beautiful facility, and our team did a super job. So thank you to all that made that happen. Bike trails. Trail network for our city. This is one of our ongoing missions, spurred on by the 2013-14 comprehensive plan update that said people wanted better connectivity in Wooster. So in the fall of 2014, we started a bike trail committee of volunteers and city staff to make the magic happen. We've made good progress through the years, but we still have many things yet to do. This has been good for the community, and you hear about bike trails in lots of different situations. And with that, I have to say thank you to my team. These folks in that picture have been essential to doing every single one of my State of the City addresses. Jonathan Millay is the creative artist on the computer. Joe Montgomery has all the sage advice and ideas on things. And Linda Paulo is the one that sort of keeps us all moving the right way and telling me to advance my slides when I have to. So thank you to them, and my sincere appreciation. And with that, I will say thank you, and do you have any questions? All right, Mr. President Bidendick, turn it back to you, sir.